right.
There we live.
We are live. Sorry about that, y'all. I couldn't get a podcast. Didn't want to start up. I didn't want to start recording for whatever reason. Got it though.
How was your week of this nonsense that you keep hearing in the news every week is something new, man. Stressful time.
Man, understatement.
But other than that, I hope everybody healthy. I'm glad y'all tuned in for another episode. It's gonna be another good one, and we appreciate that for sure.
Yep. All right. My bad. Just checking levels. But yeah, no. Thanks for joining us as always. We appreciate y'all. We can't say it enough. Um, you know, it's only one subject.
It's the only one that matters right now.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the only one
So,
that matters, man.
so, man, like, you want to talk about the latest one? Like, you want to talk about
Oh,
the latest?
the Wendy's
Uh,
incident.
yeah, down in
So,
Atlanta on the 12th.
so for those who don't know, who are under a rock at this point, because ain't nothing on TV except these stories. But anyways, it was a guy. He went. It sounded like he went, to a Mexican spot. I'm guessing he had a margarita and a half. He said he probably had more because he was looking kind of he was looking kind of gone. So
Right.
I mean, what do you do when when you get that inebriated? You go to get you some fast food late night. Wendy's open late always. He pulled up, went got some Wendy's, but he fell asleep in the drive-through. So uh, I guess after he fell asleep in the drive-through, he pulled off to the side. But by that time, somebody called the police on him. So the police pulled up on him, guns out, for a report of somebody, drunk in the car. I don't understand those procedures. But anyways, he got out the car. They patted him down. Didn't find any weapons. That's an important part of the story. Didn't find any weapons. Talked to him, found out what he was doing. He said he was at the restaurant. Had some drinks, and then he told the cop, yeah, I was drinking, which is a bad move. Then he said, did you drive here? He said, yeah, it's bad. It's all the way bad. You know what I mean? Like he incriminated himself. So, anyways, he took the breathalyzer. I guess it came back that he was drunk, and then they was about to put him in cuffs to arrest him. And I guess he got scared and tried to fight, and end up running. In the process, he grabbed the taser and turned it around at the officer, and the officer shot him 3 times, or shot 3 times. I heard. I don't know how many times he got shot exactly, and I guess he lived until after surgery, and he passed away. Um, I seen a video. I know I seen it because I sent it to you. What are your thoughts on the situation? Before I tell you my thoughts.
Um, so I think so. I've been watching it all day. Watch different variations, different cameras. I seen the badge cam angle.
Yeah.
Um, I seen the badge cam. There's two officers that was there. I seen the officer that initially responded. So when they got to the Wendy's, he was still in line at the drive-through though, and like he fell asleep in line still. Cop knocked on the window, woke him up, told him, you tired or whatever. Like, I'm gonna move my car, and you just pull over there and park. So they did. So he did. Cop got him out of the car, took his ID or whatever, checked him out, as far as weapons or whatever. Didn't find nothing. And the guy seemed to be pretty responsive, communicating with the first officer. Now, when the second officer got on the scene, that's kind of when stuff kind of picked up. The conversation kind of picked up. I don't know if the cop and this guy had some kind of a history, or the guy, I don't know, maybe read his name tag or whatever, but he kept calling him Mr., by his name or whatever. And I don't know, man. Like that video is crazy for a bunch of different reasons.
Right. He said his grandmother or auntie or something stay right there, right around the corner. He said, I'm a couple blocks away. I can walk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's been plenty of times, I heard plenty of stories, people, when they pull off on the side of the road, fall asleep at a gas station or something, cops come along, the cops tell them, leave your car here, we'll take you home since you live right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Well, what? You know what I'm saying? What was the problem on that? But immediately he went to arrest somebody. You think he was filling a quota or whatever, or what?
See, I don't know if it was quota or what. I just feel like, and I don't know what the Atlanta Police Department procedures and policies are, but I'm assuming by the mayor calling for you to be fired, I'm assuming you didn't follow them. Like whatever it is, I'm assuming you didn't follow. I also have heard, I know people who have got pulled over, not pulled over, but like fell asleep in the car while drinking, parked or whatever. And then offered to either take them home if they live close, or even if they do live close, they also offer to say, hey, we're not arresting you, but you are coming down to the station. You're going to sleep it off in the drunk tank, and then you'll be free to go in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because you're not operating the vehicle, but you also are too drunk to drive home or whatever. We don't feel like you're confident enough to walk home. And I don't want to take you home, apparently. So you can go to the drunk tank, and then you get out, you sleep it off, and you can get out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you watch Lawabiding or Cops that's now canceled, you watch any of those shows, and they also have, or Jail, I think, just a show called Jail. I think they also, you also see cases like that where people come in there drunk and they let them sleep it off, and then they release them, right?
Right.
So my biggest thing, my biggest thing should be that they killed this nigga, but it ain't. It's my second biggest thing. My biggest thing is just another example of the lack of communication that police officers have with people. Now, I'm not even going to say just black people, but like cops really want you to explain to them everything you're doing, where you're coming from, where you headed to, why you didn't do this. Like, but when you ask them a question, they
I'm in charge.
Choose if they want to respond, or they don't want to respond, or they, you know what I'm saying, like they use their right to not say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I bet
they want to know. Yeah, but they want to know everything about you. That's why when I get pulled over every single time, they're like, "Oh, where you headed to? West or east, or you know what I'm saying, like whatever direction I'm going." You know what I'm saying? Because why doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does it matter? You ran my plates, you got my address, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, I'm going west, or I'm going east, or I'm going north. Like, why do you want to know? Like, where are you going? Where you headed to? You know what I'm saying? So my biggest thing is that it's just another example of police officers having lack of communication skills, lack of de-escalation of situation skills, which is it's what you taught. You know what I'm saying?
95% of your job is talking to people. You know,
it's de-escalation and communication
and paperwork. And paperwork. And occasionally, you got to chase somebody.
That's what I'm saying. So even paperwork is a form of communication, and where your lieutenant or your commanding officer, you have to, you know what I'm saying, communicate to them the situation. So with them not being there, they should have all of the details, or as much details as possible, and that involves you communicating, non-verbally, but still a form of communication. So that's something that
Right.
you should be familiar with, grossly familiar with.
Right.
And I just feel like this is just another example of police officers that just don't know how to communicate with somebody. So
Right.
whether he did the right thing or wrong thing about taking them home or taking them to the drunk tank, if you communicate something to somebody and let them understand this is the situation, this was happening, your outcome can be way different. Like the possibility
Yeah.
for your outcome could be way
Right. Now, he said that what is his name? So I don't want to keep on saying what is the young gentleman's name?
the guy that was shot,
Yeah.
or sorry, oh, I was dying. Not the guy that was shot, the guy that was I'm dying. I'm dying. Don't
Combination of
judge me.
killer,
It's
man.
kind of weird. Yeah, that's I forgot all about that. Not the guy that got shot, the guy that got killed.
Yeah.
Uh, Rashard Brooks.
Okay. Well,
Rashard.
Mr. Brooks, he said that he had 1.5 margaritas. Now, a margarita can be pretty strong, and then it depends on the size of the margaritas. You already
And
know they
he
put
said top
tequila in
shelf.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, he
top
said
shelf.
top shelf.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He looked like the type. He don't even really drink all like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if me and you have two margaritas, I mean, we'd be cool. I mean, that's nothing for us. But it honestly looked like he wasn't. You could tell he, wasn't, not a person that be out here in the streets. Probably didn't even have a record at all. I guarantee it. If anything, it could have been a traffic ticket or speeding or something. Nothing serious. I guarantee it. And he came out, talked to the officers, told them what he was supposed to tell them. When they asked him the questions about was he drinking, and but I could tell that he was nervous. So I think the cop interpreted his nervousness with being drunk. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he had a little buzz if you falling asleep at the, you know what I'm saying, falling asleep in the drive-through. But falling asleep while you're driving a car don't mean that you've been drinking. I mean, you could have been real tired. It was late at night, But
Uh,
I don't, I don't know if the cop wanted to arrest somebody that night, or he was just mad that the guy drove to Wendy's and fell asleep and the car was running, while and he felt, well, the car was running, he was operating a vehicle. I can't take him home at that point. Wonder what was his thought process behind that.
I agree. I mean, I still feel like you gotta communicate that to him though.
Yeah.
Like say, hey, you're under arrest because this. Not just I feel like you drunk, so put your hands behind your back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, like be a person and communicate that to them. Like let them know. Let the person that you're dealing with, as an officer, as a security officer, as a public service worker of any sort, like communicate why whatever is why it is. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Yeah, he didn't even tell him what his breathalyzer, after he did the breathalyzer test, he didn't say what number he hit. He just said, all right, you're under arrest. What?
yeah, I think you drunk. I think you too drunk to drive home. Put your hands behind your back. Is what he
Yeah,
said. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Which is just which if you feel like that you're not that drunk, or if you feel like if you don't feel okay with that, and like so how do you say no? You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
how do you say like I don't agree with your assessment right now? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like
Yeah, you don't agree. You don't agree with your assessment, and he probably he didn't even say what the number was. Well, lets me know it could have been like point oh. I know the legal limit down there is 0.08. He probably could have been a 0.06, but acting like he was nervous, so he probably, I guess the officer probably thought he was on something or something. Like, I need explanations. Like I don't understand. when you say usually they well this is your number right here. You have more than 1.5
Yeah,
margaritas.
they'll let you know. Like so look. So I agree with you because I think that I don't know from experience. You sound like that was an experience story, but I think that I think that they would. Yeah, I think they would say, well, hey, you know, you're at a 1 point whatever, and you know you way over, so ain't no way you had 2 drinks, or um, but I never even thought about this, but I kind of think that you might be right because he didn't tell him a number, and he said, "Well, I think that you are still too drunk to drive home." So that must mean that to me, I would infer that he was under the limit, but acting over the limit. So the
Yeah,
cop had justifiable provocation, I guess, to detain him or arrest him or whatever, and it just led to some other stuff, which is just crazy.
yeah, because he seen him fall
Um,
asleep, and then he was acting like he was drunk or whatever. Uh, acting for a person who acting like they drunk and giving clear answers. You know what I mean? Like he was giving clear answers on everything. Like, hey,
and anybody that watched the first cop on scene body cam, when he first woke him up, pulled his car over to the parking spot. When he was talking to that cop 1-on-1 while he was sitting in the car, he was way more
relax.
calm. He was way
Yeah,
more like the conversation was like a back and forth. Like, hey, you know, I was tired. You know, it was my daughter's birthday was yesterday, and we was coming back from Tennessee. Like all this stuff going on, and then like only when that second cop got there, so maybe he was just super nervous or whatever.
oh,
Let me catch
coming
comments
back
too.
from Tennessee. Now he was tired. I
Yeah,
mean, Tennessee to Georgia, like that's at least 5-6 hours
it's a
right
hell of a
there.
drive.
Yeah,
Even if you ain't driving, if you was a passenger, it's still tired, man.
he tired. Like they can just come
All the
back at
comments, I'm telling you, man, all the comments just popped up at once. So let me catch up. I don't want y'all to think I'm ignoring y'all. They literally just all popped up.
Yeah, I can't even see him. Huh?
So Angel said, yeah, I don't know what happened or whatever, why the delay. So Angel said, so sad and unnecessary. The cop could have de-escalated the situation. He didn't even explain to the guy he was being arrested or anything. I agree. This is exactly what we're saying. Regina, what's up? Thanks for joining us as always. Uh, Angel said, the cops to me seem to just start getting annoyed. He did a terrible job. I agree with that 100%. Regina said, cop was embarrassed or pissed off. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot I can put it up on the screen now. Cop was embarrassed or pissed off after he took the taser from him and started running. It almost seemed like Cop was proving I'm in charge. Cop never needed to go for the kill shot. Um, I
Look
agree.
into
We're going to talk about
that.
the taser situation in a minute because me and you talked about it earlier. Um, Andrew said it didn't have to end that way. He didn't explain anything to him at that point. That's so true. Erica said, Erica first, thanks for joining us. Erica says, sorry, y'all. I have to catch him on the news. I only know a little about the story. Well, come on in. We dare start talking about it. And then Angel said, he appeared to write the number on his hand, but didn't state anything out loud. I agree. I mean, I did see that. He wrote it on his hand, and then he put the breathalyzer in his belt or whatever, and that's when he told him to put his hands behind his back so that he could, you know what I'm saying, like, put your hands behind your back. That's all he said. So, um, so he get into a fight. For those of you that don't know, he told him to put his hand behind his back. They start to go put him in custody. Then the guy like flips out and resists. The two cops kind of take him to the ground. So now they're just like wrestling. The I want to say the first cop on scene pulls his taser, telling him he's going to get tased. With the taser in his hand, Rayshard grabbed two hands on the cop's taser, ended up taking the taser from him, and then got up and ran from the cop. While running away from the police, he reached with the taser in his hand and aimed. I guess I don't think he ever discharged, but aimed the taser backwards at the cops. Then the cops shot 3 times, and like Byron said, I don't know how many times he has to get hit or whatever, but 3 shots for sure. And yeah, man, guy running away from you but pointing a taser at you. Is that a justified reason to shoot him?
Now, when we talked about this earlier, I had, you know, I was thinking about what you said about how, you know, somebody could take the cop's taser and tase them, and then take their gun and shoot them, right? But
let me say.
that is
So this,
thrown out the window to me because
look, I told you that I agree with you, but this is a legit thing that's taught to security guards and police officers alike. Like this is a actual training point for armed people that work with guns or whatever. That was my reason for saying it. But go ahead.
But this is where critical thinking is imperative, because the one officer, I don't know which officer he took the taser from, but I know one officer shot his taser, right? So you can't shoot it again, but you can, you know, put the taser on somebody's body and tase them after that, but you can't shoot the taser again, right?
Right.
So I don't know whose taser he took, but let's say hypothetically he took the taser that he was shot with, right? Ain't no way that he can hurt you from that distance with the non-lethal weapon while he's running away from you. Ain't no way that he can kill you at that point. So that part was a huge mistake, which cost him Mr. Brooks's life. But secondly, if you were let's say you were a concealed carry holder, right, and somebody's running away from you, and you know they point back and have a taser, do you think the judge is going to be lenient on you at all?
No, if you are a concealed carry holder and you, what do you say, and you hit somebody with a taser?
No, I'm saying the same situation. The guy's running away from you, and you shoot and kill him because he pointed a taser at you.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're going down.
Yeah, you're going down, right? I mean, because your life isn't in danger. And the same shit, I don't care if he's a cop or not. Like your life wasn't in danger at all.
Not running away from you.
I could see you pulling out your gun, because I don't know, that shit might be a natural instinct. They pulling out that shit all day. You know what I mean? But to go through with it, and he wasn't even. He was scared. Like this man's already been patted down. He probably still have another weapon on him that you probably didn't, get. But no, I can't give him no excuses, anything for what happened. I mean, the critical thinking was, no, you chase him.
I agree with you. I think that at that point, when you have his car, you have his information. He gave you his ID. You got his address. Like you have all the information to catch him another time, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
Or to do your like he's running away from you. Like somebody put it earlier in group chat, said that he ain't John Wick. You know what I'm saying? Like this nigga not about to. He's not about to slide and spin and hit you with the taser through your bulletproof vest. That cops wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a regular dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not a fictional movie character. So for you to be not able to, like, for that to be your answer, like I don't understand. Like I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
That's why he was fired. That's why he was fired so fast. It was like, come on, man. Like Really?
Yeah.
I don't know who. I wish I gotta read up on who did he take the taser from, the cop that shot him or the other cop, like, because that'll give me a clearer picture. Even if he took it from the cop who didn't fire his taser yet, it's like he's far from you, man. Come on. And then you got your partner there to back you up. Even if he do drop you with the taser, he shoots you in the face with the taser. Your partner's still there. And
Right.
I guarantee dude gonna drop the taser and keep it moving because he's not trying to get arrested. Like he trying to flee. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't. Nah. Critical thinking.
You
Like some
you
people just
got
don't have it, man.
you got two people. That's all I know. So you got two officers. So you got two tasers. He took one of the tasers. One of them was deployed as he was running away. So let's say the taser that he had was a fresh one. Like he still, you know how hard it is to hit something while you're running, while you're walking.
Especially while you're trying to shoot something that's moving behind you. You know.
For yes, like he didn't stop, turn around, and take aim. Like he's running away, and he's reaching back with a taser, not with a gun or a shotgun, like with a taser.
How many yards you think
I
it was
don't.
away? About 10 to 20, 10 to 15, or maybe more?
I don't think it was that far. I think once he went to go reach back, like the cop sidestepped, like kind of took cover towards a car because he fumbled a little bit, got his gun out, and then three shots on target. So it appears. I don't know.
Hold up. So
Maybe 10 yards.
I watched the video once. There's only
Okay.
so many times I can watch like videos like this. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh
So I watched it once, but you said he got covered behind a car.
no, he didn't take cover, but he stopped. When dude went to go when Mr. Brooks went to go turn around, like when he went to go reach back with the taser, the cop moved like not no longer going like forward and backwards like if you chasing somebody. He moved laterally where it was a car and then shot. Is what it looks like to me.
Oh man.
Yeah. I just don't. So I would say if I had to guess, and I only watched like that angle twice, I couldn't watch it no more. But I would say 10 to 12 yards or so. I don't know the distance on those police tasers, but I'm sure they know 10 yards. 10 yards.
It's 30 feet.
I'm sure they.
It's 30 feet.
That's crazy.
Wow. He was running away from you.
And
Man,
he's actively
wow.
running away from you.
Probably trying to run to his house.
Let me jump to the comments, man. Angel said, in my concealed carry class, they told a story about a woman whose home got broken into. She shot the guy in the back as he was leaving. His family sued and won. Yeah. He wasn't a threat anymore. You can't protect your property. It was a guy it was a teenager, a black teenager that knocked on somebody's door to get directions because he was lost, like on his way to school. And he like shot a shotgun at him. Like came to the door, came out with a shotgun. The kid, of course, was running away, and just shooting the gun, not hitting the kid or whatever. He got like 12 years or something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Not crazy because he should definitely get more than that, but he got like a bunch of years because like that's not a threat to you.
Yeah, he wasn't in your house at all.
That's the biggest thing about these police things is these are like the stuff is happening to people who are no longer a threat to you. If they were a threat at one point, they're no longer a threat at the time that these videos are capturing people getting killed by these police officers. It's not that they're in a gunfight. That's something that can be understandable by everybody. But when the person that you're accosting is no longer a threat and they still end up dying, like that is the issue. White or black. I can't remember the guy, and I just looked up the story because I think the cop would end up getting off. It was a white cop shot a white guy, I don't know if it's a delivery guy or whatever, and then in like an apartment complex hallway, like on his hands and knees, crawling towards the cop. You got one cop saying, "Put your hands up." You got another cop saying, "Get on the ground." So the guy like, "I don't know what to do, so I'm going to crawl on my hands and knees, like open palms." And like they shot him point blank range with like an AR-15.
Is this in a
And that
hotel?
cop got off recently.
Not in a
It was either
hotel.
a hotel or lobby or apartment
Oh
lobby
yeah,
or
that was in a
something.
hotel. Yeah, I seen that one.
Like so that's the problem with all of these shootings is that these cop shootings, all the uproar is it is because it's primarily black people and all of this stuff. But the problem comes is that these people are no longer a threat, and yet they're still getting killed by these police officers
Like
who
I
are
don't.
trained. Like you're trained to assess these things. I'm not saying that mistakes won't happen. I'm not saying that people don't make accidents or whatever, which is the same thing. I just said the same thing twice. With I'm not saying that people are going to be perfect or anything, but um, like
It
you're
doesn't.
actually trained. Like
Yeah,
when
it
you
doesn't take that much to not shoot somebody who's unarmed.
that's what I'm saying. Like when you take your CCW class or whatever, they tell you like, look, if you get caught without, what I'm saying, drinking while you got your gun or whatever, like you are going to be punished more because you know better. Like you're like they're going to punish you. They're going to give you more punishment because you actually took a class. You know the information, and you just still decided to make a bad decision.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy to me, man. And
yeah,
that's just a regular concealed carry person, like not somebody that goes to the academy. Like it just don't make sense to me.
right. But check this out though. Uh, like I know the counter argument would be, you got to make the decisions fast, and somebody could, pull out their gun and have a shot on you on target in, you know, point 0.9 seconds, even faster. That could be an argument, but but it's the proof is in the video. You know what I mean? Like we're watching it. We weren't there in that situation with stress and all that type of stuff. No, we weren't. But I think mostly everybody is agreeing like that was the wrong situation. That was the wrong decision in that situation. It's the hotel situation. You got 3-4 people with AR-15s on dude. Like dude scared. He like wondered like why like I didn't even do nothing. Like why are y'all trying to why y'all got guns out? He's scared. He keep moving because he's scared. He didn't reach for anything. And you shoot dude and kill him. That don't make sense to me at all. At
Yeah,
all.
I don't get it, man. Angel said, if the person is not coming at you, they are not an immediate threat. That's the whole point of this. Like these people
Yeah.
are actively trying to get away.
Now um, if he would have took the cop's gun out of a level 3 holster, shit, more power to him. Number one, and then number two, he would be most definitely a threat. Even if he's running away from him, he has an unlimited range tool that he can still hit, kill somebody with. But man,
But not a taser.
not a taser though. Now,
I agree.
I could see if he had a knife, even if he was, but if he running from you away from you with a knife, it's like, you could probably still get off in court, but like you still getting fired. You know what I mean?
But we still talking about deadly force. Like a knife can be deadly. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? A gun can be deadly. Like tasers are not deadly.
yeah. But
They're
I
they're
was just
super
saying, if you
effective
had a
when
knife,
used properly.
okay, he has a deadly weapon, but he's running away from you. You can probably you gonna get off, but you probably gonna get fired for the bad decision and shoot somebody in the back. Like, why they're running away from you with a knife? I can see that. Let's say a bat. He's running away with you with a lethal weapon, away from you with a lethal weapon, which is a bat. But he can't. You can't get a lethal hit if somebody's not standing next to you with a bat. You know what I mean? Like I don't. don't understand people's thinking. Like I don't. It's simple. Like why are you so quick to shoot somebody? Like I don't. It's not good. It's not good for your job. Like you, certain situations, I can agree with officers. Like yeah, he put a gun out on you. Hey, that was fucked up. I mean, if it was me and you, somebody pull a gun out on us. I mean, that's normal human reaction to save your life. But if a motherfucker pulled out a taser and no, we start scuffling and he ain't he ain't want no smoke no more. But he running away and pull out a taser. Like I'm not gonna pull out a gun and shoot him. Like that don't even make sense to me.
I agree.
I can't comprehend the decision making at all. Like, it's just crazy, and it's all on video. You know, so there ain't no lies. Yeah, we don't have to rely on the police chief coming on talking about what happened. We don't have to rely on the cop story, going to the paperwork, him and his partner, sticking to the same story in the paperwork. We don't have to rely on that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We can see it for ourselves. So
yep.
Yeah, man.
Let me see. So
Wow.
Ms. Murray said, at some point, police have to learn to give up the chase. Innocent people can get hurt. I don't believe Cleveland police are allowed to get in car chases anymore because of the harm it causes to innocent people. Foot chases are just as bad.
And specifically,
I agree with you.
Specifically the case where they shot that car up like 127 times over in at that middle school in East Cleveland.
East Cleveland, yep.
Specifically because of that, they had to change it up. But that's just Cleveland. Like it's still other departments are still chasing people out
here. Yeah, no, I agree, and there are plenty offices around the state, around the country. What's that? Lawabiding or whatever. They got some people like if a car go past you going a cop that's sitting there waiting like a speed trap or whatever. If a car go by at a certain speed, they won't even turn on the chase. Like they're not allowed to. You know what I'm saying? Because trying to pit that car, or so now instead of having one car going that speed, you got three cars. You send two officers plus the suspect car or whatever. You just putting the public, the general public, at danger. You know what I'm saying? And it just ain't worth it for a lot of people, so they won't even engage, which I think is something very wise to do.
Right. Now, something I like to do is always give a other side thinking, just because that's how people think in certain situations. Now, before he made the critical error of shooting Mr. Brooks, he decided to arrest him. Hey, I can understand that and why you didn't take him home, because there's plenty of people who ruin families by getting drunk, driving, and crashing into a innocent family and killing everybody in the car, and they live. You know what I'm saying? And then cops got to come to the scene and see this devastation, bodies mangled. You know what I mean? And so he could be on the mission. Well, if you're drunk, that's just my thing. If you're drunk, I'm taking you to jail. Okay, I can get that. You know what I'm saying? But after that, everything is out the window. I can't agree with any of that.
I agree. Let me see. Regina said, she said, and you can identify them and constantly look over your shoulder, waiting for them to come back. Well, she asked a question. She said, and you can identify them and constantly look over your shoulder, waiting for them to come back. I was broken into. My cop told me in my garage I could shoot them as long as it was connected to my home. I just hate that he broke into her house and she's the victim, but the woman pays. I think so. The cop told you, so somebody broke into somebody's garage, and the cop said, as long as the garage is connected to your house, then you can shoot them. Right. as long as they're in
legally,
your house,
legally,
as long as they're
that's true.
as long as they're inside. But if they run, if they hear you coming and they run outside of the garage and they're in your driveway, that's no longer in your house, and they're no longer a threat to you. I get what you're saying as for being a target and feel like you look over your back in case they come back or something, but them's the law. That's the law. I can't tell you nothing otherwise, even if I don't agree with it.
You see Bun B, you heard about the situation we're having with Bun B, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who don't know, somebody entered through his garage. You got the garage, you got the door that go into the house. Like I said, opened the door, he had his wife at gunpoint. He was upstairs, taking a number two. So, he heard the commotion. He come down. He get his gun. He come down, and I guess the guy was in his car trying to start it or something. And Bun B started shooting that dude in the car, wounded him. Dude, and went to jail. Bun B, he was cool because he was a law-abiding citizen in that situation, right? That's understandable. Dude had a gun to your wife's head. You know what I'm saying? But not a taser. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. Angel said when cops began shooting at Rashard, they put all the public that was in line at Wendy's in harm's way. Absolutely unacceptable. I agree. One that they always tell you to be aware of your backstop, be aware of what's behind you. It could be your own partner sometimes. Like I watch tons of videos, man, where cops just be out here shooting wild, man. Shooting into neighborhoods. I seen a video today where a cop was trying to break a suspect's window by hitting the window with the butt of his gun and ended up shooting his partner in the arm. And like now his partner can't use his left arm ever again. Like it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and these are
just
people
sent me
that's
the video the other day. Just sent me the one video where the guy was running and then that was in LA. Yeah, he took a hostage at the last minute or something, and they shot the hostage and him.
Some old lady. Yeah, and this wasn't like SWAT team, sniper, fry. The movies. These are regular officers that didn't have enough, and the guy didn't have a gun. He had like a knife or a machete or something, and he wanted to go take a hostage or whatever. But they decided to shoot him and the old lady hostage that was like had a walker and everything. So it wasn't like she could just get out of the area. It's just crazy, man.
It didn't have any angles at all before he took the shot. Just shot. I don't
know what they were thinking. Like I don't know what they were thinking, man.
Especially if it's it was more than one officer. All you had to do is take the angle to try to get to the side of him. Even if he turned, then the other officer got the shot because he's on the side of him. But you still can't miss.
Or shoot him before you take a hostage. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they this is horrible shooters. If only we had an officer in the comments section that would come on the show and give our point of view.
It ain't gonna happen.
Instead of
I understand it's not gonna happen because I'm trying to get paid out here. I got bills to pay. I understand.
I didn't say I didn't respect it, but I'm just saying if only we had somebody in the comments that would come on and speak for the boys in blue, boys and girls in blue.
Hey, somebody could say, oh well, you can go take the simulator. The simulator they got with different scenarios. You might run in a movie theater and stuff like that. Hey, we can go do that. Don't they got it at I'm gonna call it the wall because I don't like giving out free promo. I think they got one up there for sure with the CCW class up there, from what I was told. Yeah. So people think, people say, oh, if y'all was in that situation, y'all a mess up. Let's go to the simulator. We can film it. Let's see how we do. Random scenarios. to see if we, mess up. We might, but it's a simulator. It's practice.
See, so for those of you that don't know in Cleveland, hold on, let me catch up in the comments. I got a quick story. Regina said when they were chasing Rashard, he wasn't a threat. He'd fall asleep somewhere. It was like, you already know his address. I agree with Angel. Cops shouldn't be shooting around the public. I get it. Some stuff is you have to, like certain situations, but that situation damn sure didn't call for it. Like not a chance. Especially when you got his car, you got his information. You got all of his stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like the only thing I could think of is that cop had a history with that dude. The same way they try to say that that Floyd had an issue with whatever the cop is that kneeled on his neck. You know what I'm saying, in the past. So that's the only thing I could think of, and even that doesn't excuse anything from being understandable. Angel said, "Imagine that was your son, husband, or dad. I just can't for sure." My aunt said they still chase. Remember that little girl last December got killed in East Cleveland on the sidewalk during the chase? Some departments still
committed
chase,
suicide
some
after
don't.
that.
Right? Yeah. Ashley said, she says a lot of Monday night quarterbacking here. Well, Ashley, if by chance,
no, you go ahead. I got it.
If by chance you know somebody that could be a Sunday night quarterback, feel free to let us know, and we will definitely give them a platform. If you know any Sunday night quarterbacks, for sure.
I want to know what was her score on that on the written exam. Then I want to know what her score was. What was her time on the physical? She was jumping over gates. I just got some questions. All I want to know.
Those just super basic questions. That's all. No, look, I'm so serious. Like, if we got a captain or a lieutenant or officer that wanted to come on and defend whatever actions they see, you have the floor. You have the floor.
But it's plenty of officers who have critical thinking and have went their whole career without shooting somebody at all or for no reason. Plenty. I heard the stories. I heard plenty of stories. So hey, it's gonna be times where I agree with cops for sure. For sure, it's gonna be times because it's like I would have did the same thing, but it is times it's like, nigga, what was you thinking? And speaking of them armchair quarterbacks, let's talk about the real quarterbacks. I want to know, do you agree in that situation? If you were a quarterback, I'm not saying you are.
Yeah.
Miss
Berry said, y'all don't gotta be jumping on Ashley. Well, I'm not jumping on Ashley. I'm just I just want a Sunday night quarterback. That's all.
Hey,
if hypothetically, if you were a Sunday night quarterback, what would you do in that situation? Because I'm curious.
We're not jumping on your daughter, but all I'm saying is I see some of y'all posts in the family, which I'll be saying, and y'all did it first. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. Playing football is way different than niggas ain't down on the, like, you might throw an interception. You get to live and play another day.
That's funny. Ms. Murray said, Ashley scores don't matter. She out here on the front lines keeping the community safe. I agree.
Which I commend. For sure.
Look,
it's most definitely a tough job. 12 hours a day, trying to think and be on your toes. It's a lot. So I most definitely commend her for sure. But I ain't see her in the news. That's what I'm trying to say. Because she doing her job.
Right. Especially with all the stuff that's going on, and as critical as we are of police that make these mistakes, um, I don't think I'm or you are anti-cop or like cops just can't do anything right or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Um, I just think of the ones that do make the mistakes, or like you said, you got X amount of cops that do good stuff, and as you don't hear about, and then you hear about the bad ones or whatever. But like the
yeah.
bad ones are like really bad though. You know what I'm saying? Like the bad ones are like like because it's not a job where all right if you're a bad I don't know you're a bad
Cook,
you're a bad cook so
you still might kill
nigga
somebody.
food I mean well yeah nigga food might not be done you might kill him you're right but chances are the food is gonna be disgusting somebody get food poisoning you know throw up a little bit or something like but and that'd be the extent of it you know what I'm saying but when you're bad and they give you like a gun, they give you protection and a badge and a gun, like your bad is not good enough. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't afford to be bad and have a
Yeah.
gun. And that goes for all walk of life. That goes for CCW carriers that I know or people at the gun range. When I go and I just see and I look like, man, how did they let you in here to even shoot at the gun range? Like, and that goes for everybody. So, as critical as we are, we're not saying that anti cop or anything like that for sure. Because I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
fact that Ashley and anybody else would go do that is honorable because I damn sure wouldn't. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
am I am I honorable?
Kinda,
Uh, yeah,
almost.
well, almost.
So wait, Ashley said the real question is, what would you do if you were that officer? So be honest, B. What would you do if you were that officer?
I number one, it wouldn't be. It would either be, um, especially when I was in shape. Well, I guess we're going on a jog. You know, we running, or it would be. No, that would be. Yeah, we're going for a jog. That's it. And but even before that, oh, man. See, I've been in a situation where I was 20 years old and I was playing beer pong at a party. One game of beer pong, and
This is
you already
awesome.
know it, huh?
This, this ain't funny to him, but him telling me this story was one of the funniest experiences ever.
you know, so I played like one game of beer pong. Really wasn't even drinking the cups that I was supposed to, but I was 20 years old. You're not supposed to be drinking at 20 years old anything except communion. So I think I was either out in like Brunswick or Brecksville, one of those. I really can't remember. That was 12 years ago. Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I really don't know where I'm at. This is before they had GPSs on phones, so I had to write down the MapQuest directions, and so I'm trying to like get back. But of course, I'm driving fast. Uh, I'm young. That's when I used to be driving fast, getting speeding tickets, whatever. So I'm driving fast through Brunswick, trying to figure out like how to get back to the freeway. And once I finally found a freeway, I don't know if somebody called on me. What I don't know, but I got pulled over, and they pulled me out. Well, first they asked me was I was drinking. I should have said no, but not. But I was like, yeah, I played a beer pong. I should step out the car. So they had me doing all the field sobriety tests, and I'm like, I'm good. But also in my mind, I know it's what is it, 0.01 if you under 20 years old, right? I think it's 0.01.
I don't
And,
know.
I'm like, damn, that could register a couple of drinks. I don't know. But anyways, they did the breathalyzer, I didn't, I probably didn't even blow anything. And he looked at his partner, showed him whatever I blew. It was probably like 0. You know what I'm saying? And he said, just be safe driving home. So I have been let go, but at the same time, I didn't fall asleep behind the wheel. I don't know. Like that's a judgment call right there. If you want to take them home and have them sleep it off, or you want to take them, or you want to, bring them in. Like that's a judgment call right there. So either one of them things I would have done, but he got out the, when y'all trying to arrest him, he didn't get out. So, but I wouldn't have shot him though for sure. I would have been on the job, like got some exercise because dude obviously wasn't in shape like that.
And Rashad was he drunk? Like they got. I don't know. I don't know if you ever tried to do anything while drunk. Like that energy you got, it don't last. It burn up quick.
Yeah.
It burn up quick. I could tell you hella college stories. We had a basketball court in our dorms, and that alcohol, that little energy boost you get, it burns up quickly.
Yeah.
So let me see. So, as Murray said, if I was that officer, I probably wouldn't engage in a chase. Um, I would have got him later, but even that don't mean he wouldn't have got shot. Angel said if I was the officer, I would have talked with him more before putting hands on him, explain what we are going to do, whatever that means. Take him to the sober up in jail or take him home a mile down the road. It didn't need to. It didn't need to escalate. Virginia said I completely agree, and I couldn't agree more. It's almost like I wrote that statement that Angel said because if I'm in that situation and you got a guy that's not like a repeat offender, like he doesn't have his record is clean apparently as far as like warrants or whatever, he's not a repeat offender, not nobody that I came across pass with like that. The car is parked. I would do my community work, which I would go talk to. When I would go talk to Wendys and like, is it cool if you leave his car here for the night? If it is, cool. Leave your car here. I'll take you home. You know what I'm saying? If you stay, reasonably within the area, I even get not taking you to your sister house. Like if you got to go to the house that's on your address, if it's reasonable vicinity, I'll take you home. You come get your car in the morning. If I catch you out here tonight again, like driving home or anything like that, or they tell me we can't get this car tonight, then that'll be a different issue, but we'll handle that when we get there. If you don't stay within reasonable vicinity, I'll take you to the drunk tank. You sleep it off. You get out in the morning. You come back and get your car. That's what I would do beforehand. But all that stuff would be communicated to that guy, the white guy, the black guy, the Spanish guy up front. Like, look, this is what we're doing, right? You were sleeping behind the wheel. Your car was started using the drive-through, whatever. You ain't driving home. You know what I'm saying? So we got two options here. You know what I'm saying? I can take you home. I can take you to the drunk tank. You know what I'm saying? And then you get your car. Either way, you get your car in the morning or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would do if I was that officer.
Mm-hmm. Hey, like I said, one of the two options. I mean, one would save the person a lot of money and a lot of time, and one would be
and
like,
then, And then if Wendy was like, no, they can't keep their car here, like, all right, well, we're gonna have to tow your car or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make a phone call. If your sister really stay a block away, have her come get your car tonight or whatever. Like, I would do my due diligence to not escalate the situation if at all possible. So we wouldn't even get to the part where we have a struggle and a chase and all of that stuff. I would do all my work up front as much as possible so we won't even have to get to that point.
yeah. But like I said earlier, I mean, like I said, some of the cops been on the scene after these crazy uh, drunk driver crashes, and it's like I'm taking them all to jail. Like I knew a police officer who their pet peeve was tinted windows. Like you got tinted windows, I'm pulling you over. I mean, it is what it is. So
But that's whatever hill you want to die on. That's fine. But then let them know, like, hey, you was caught behind the wheel. And I'm not saying I would do this, but I would say, hey, you was caught behind the wheel driving. Technically, it's drunk driving. You got to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm explaining all that to him, though.
Yeah.
All of it. Let me see. Ms. Murray said, I think a lot, or sir, she said, I think a lot have gotten away from their motto to serve and to protect. To be honest, I'm not police, so I really can't answer that question. Um, Actually, I think you're a person in the community. I think you're more than qualified to answer that question. Like head over heels, the what happens in the community, like you're a part of that community. So you feel like if you're in the community and you feel like you're not being served, if you feel like you're not being protected, then I think you are more than capable at saying they've gotten away from their motto. And I happen to agree with you wholeheartedly that I feel like they are not holding that close to the vest anymore. Like they work for you. They work for the community. They work for the city. They work for us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
so
like
holding them accountable and their precinct accountable, like that's our job because they work
right,
for us. We're the boss.
right. On this show, we don't. We're not a cop bashing, show. We talk about what we believe is right and what we believe is wrong. But we're by no means like cop hating, you know, individuals. But at the same time, people like people like Ice Cube wouldn't have the inspiration to make a song that he did called "F the Police" if those situations and that climate wasn't going on. You know, so I mean, it the problem is there. I don't. Some people don't. They don't see it's a problem because they don't haven't experienced any wrongs or haven't had any of their family members been wrong. You know what I'm saying? But for sure, it's a hell of a lot of people who are on the other side who families have been destroyed by instances like this. So I mean, something gotta happen. Some type of something like change, especially when it is dealing with people. I mean, I seen videos as where the lady came to check on a guy who was sleeping, and he pulled out a revolver and started shooting at her. I get stuff like that. Like it's crazy people out here, but at the same time, for the majority, people aren't mentally incompetent.
Great. Let me see. As Angel said, I'm just thinking if someone puts their hands on me and I don't know what's going on, I'm probably fighting too, especially if I had a drink or two. Yeah, if you're not in your right mind, that's the equivalent of being in a place and drunk or not, like a cop walk up and put his hands on you, like just walk up and grab you. Let's say you protesting, peacefully protesting, cop walk up and grab you or something. Your instinct is to hit him with an elbow, you know what I'm saying, as you turn around.
Especially when
Like,
like you just saying no justice, no peace, and a nigga come grab you up.
or, or if you ain't saying nothing, you just standing there and you hit that cop, like so you go to jail for assaulting a police officer when they walked up and grabbed you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't know what's going, and that goes for anybody, cop or otherwise. Like if I don't know what's going on, or if I'm nervous or scared and a hyper um, anxious state, like yeah, I'm probably gonna make some decisions that ain't great. I'm probably gonna make some movements that police officers probably wouldn't like or whatever. What am I supposed to do? Like I'm scared or I'm nervous or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So without getting that explained to me, without having that communication, that dialogue, yeah, I would probably want to understand. Like I need answers. Like I need you to tell me why. And that's why what I started over the show was saying in regards to police officers, like they want to know everything, but they refuse to answer your questions. They force you to answer. They want to force you to answer their questions. But when you ask them something, they're real stingy with that information.
And you don't have to answer any of their questions to begin with, but they get mad at you for not answering their questions when legally you don't have to answer their questions at all.
I never forget, man. Let me finish the comments. Ms. Murray said, my advice to Ashley is bring your ass home at the end of your shift by any means necessary. People crazy out here. I agree.
I agree.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. Like we was rough on Ashley a little bit, I guess. Like not even really, but that is the most important thing for sure. You know, I get it. I get it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, Ashley most definitely is a smart woman, so she'll be all right, you know. But if you got to pull. You know what I'm saying? Don't hesitate, because wild shit be happening out here. So if you got to pull, the same what you shooting, I have shot a lot before, and it's easy to hit your target. That's what I'm saying. Trust your skills.
She said when you get scared or nervous at a rally, leave. I agree. I agree for the most part. I guess I agree.
I mean, I ain't going like that. I mean, I feel like I'm too old. You know, I leave that to the youngsters that be out here doing that. Like, I don't. You know, what? I'm not built to be like, I'm too old to be getting hit in the head with the billy club. Like, it's not. Oh, it's not happening.
Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean,
no, because you said
too old for that. Everybody's too old for that. Everybody's too old to get hit or tear gas. Like,
nah, we can use our platform and our voice for that, but I'm not. I would rather use it for that than get hit in the head with a billy club and go to jail. That night.
I'm agreeing with you. I agree with. It's better stuff that we got better stuff that we could be doing to also help. You know what I'm saying? But she was just saying in general, if you down there and you get nervous or whatever, you should probably leave. I agree. But that go for police too. When they start getting nervous and antsy about the crowd, they should probably leave too. Just my opinion. She said I'm too old for that too. Go ahead.
But just a little bit about the looting and stuff. I mean, the Wendys got burned down because of the situation that happened in Georgia. And did anybody see the video who burning down the Wendys? I saw
man. What they call her? What do they call her? What do they call her?
I think he said it's a white woman. It's a white woman. So you see that?
Yeah, no, that's what they do on the video. But the title was like, it was like Amy the I can't even think of what it was called. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick because that shit was hilarious. It's a hilarious title. I don't know. That shit was funny. Amy the.
Hey, all I'm saying is y'all see who burned down.
Like that? I think that's what Amy the arsonist.
Hey, nobody called for the Wendys to get burned down. Like, the Wendys ain't even had nothing to do with it. They called. Yeah. It was like, it's a car in my drive-thru. I mean, can y'all come get this car? You know what I'm saying? But the Wendys ain't had nothing to do with it. 99.8 of the people there protesting, knew that. But just as one person decided to take it a little step further.
Let me see. So let me read Regina's comment, and then Ashley got another question. So Regina said, I have a relative that's a cop, and he has been having a lot of disagreements at work and some family because he sees it from both sides. I understand him. You want to be safe for your community, but at the same time, so many are instantly angered by you just for being a cop. Well, if you can't handle that, then you probably shouldn't be a cop. Like if you can't handle that part of it, somebody not liking you, somebody not agreeing with you, then you probably shouldn't be a cop. Like there's so much other stuff to worry about in that job that if that's your biggest issue, you probably shouldn't
About caring what
be a
people think.
cop.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what you signed up for. Like that is get another job. Like people, I'm not even gonna get started on a Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives whole thing. Um, because like the blue light, like you choose to be a police officer, right? That's a choice. You chose or you felt like that's what you wanted to do. That's a choice. Like being black is not a choice.
Yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like people like it has one has nothing to do with the other, but people like to throw that out there. That like, but that's a job though. Like just do something else.
Right.
So I feel the same way about that. Like if that's what you worry about the most, then you probably should go get another job.
Right. Of course we I forgot. Oh no. Of course you're gonna face it's a job where you're gonna face the most scrutiny. I mean, your job is dealing with people and you may give them tickets. Of course people don't want to be pulled over and pay a $200 ticket. You can be mad at that.
Yeah,
But
you're dealing with authority. You're an authority
yeah,
figure, and people have a problem with authority, of course.
right. You saw what happened during the pandemic, the early stages when people weren't getting pulled over and people were going 100 miles an hour wherever they were going. There was so many accidents, so many wild stuff happening because there wasn't any control. So I mean, I get that, but when it comes to life and death situations, and trust me, the same training videos that that police officers saw, I saw because I watch all of them all the time. It's like, fuck, you got to deal with, some dude hopping out the car that was in the army, that army trainer, just pull out a gun, start shooting at you. You know what I'm saying? Wild situations that may happen to you because you're just a cop. I understand that, so you're on edge, but man, sometimes it's like, man, I could tell looking at this dude is not. He doesn't have any weapons on him. Like it's not. Most of the time, it's not that going down like that because you will hear about more shit than you do if it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't. I guess you can't call me an armchair quarterback, but if I put on that blue, like I want to make sure not to be fucking with people, so I wouldn't have to get in a situation where you know what I'm saying. They want to cause harm, bring harm my way. Number one, and you know what I'm saying? You got to put your life on the line for the city of, whatever you choose.
Right.
But
So
it's a tough job. Shit.
it is, but if you can't handle it, like you have the choice to do something else. Is all I'm saying. So Ashley said, "Do y'all believe these are isolated incidents or that all police are out to hurt people?" Ms. Murray said,
Isolated.
"Not all." So Ms. Murray said, "Not all police make bad decisions. Some do use common sense, but common sense ain't common."
Yeah.
That's a great quote. I mean, it's good. Angel said, "I believe majority of police aren't bad, but the ones that are sure make it bad for the rest. Accountability is missing at times, as we see." And Ms. Murray said, "They would never admit it publicly, but some people have attitudes and preconceptions about people of color." I agree. So I'll
Yeah.
say
That's called
isolated,
racism.
right, right, or prejudice at the least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If not full blown racism. So I'll say that um, isolated incidents, of course, but the problem becomes, but the gray area becomes when you have isolated incidents that good cops don't say anything about. So then that makes you a bad cop. Like that makes you a person or a group of people or whatever that's choosing to not be good. You know what I'm saying? That's a person that, and I don't mean publicly. I'm not saying that you had to be, go to the news or something or quit your job in order to make a statement. But if you feel like somebody did something wrong or your partner crossed the line or something, um, and you don't say anything about it or you don't do anything about it, then um, I think that pushes you towards becoming a bad cop.
Hey,
So I so let me just finish. So I think it is isolated incidents, but where the gray area for a good amount of people, including myself, it happens is when the good cops don't say anything to the bad cops.
true, but speaking out against your partner, who you and your partner have to most definitely be on the same page because they supposed to have your back, and you not having, another officer back is like Drew Brees over here. It's like Drew Brees over here talking about, but you know what Drew Brees said. So he felt like he didn't have the black teammates. It felt like he didn't have their backs. So it's the same situation. And that one female cop, that black female cop, she got fired because I guess dude put his knee on the person or choke hold or something. And she told him stop or stopped it. One of them, and she got fired because of that.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Erica just said that in the
people got
comments that a lot of
houses,
cops.
huh?
Yeah, she said a lot of cops lost their jobs speaking out.
Yeah. So people got houses, families, bills to pay. So it's a win lose. You may speak out about your partner, but you're gonna lose your job in the process. But me, no,
All
I
right,
don't want no partner. I'm cool, solo in the streets.
but so what kind of person does that make you though? Like Angel, I want to say the last show, maybe 2 shows ago, Angel asked the question: if you, the one cop in the George Floyd situation, the one black cop he was 4 days out or something like that, like his 4 day, like his fourth day on the force or something. Like, what would you do? She asked, well, like, what would you do in that situation? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't care what, for me, and I can only speak for myself. Like, I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what job I'm doing. Like, if it's a position where, or if I'm put in a spot where people are dying or potentially could die because of my partner, and it's going to take me losing my job in order to say something about it, then I'm on Indeed looking for a new job. Because ain't no, I don't want to, you can't convince me that I don't want to do it because I don't want to lose my job. I get it, man. Everybody got bills, people got shit to pay, people got responsibilities and people to take care of. I understand that 100%. But when your job involves shit that is life or death, like you telling me that you'd rather be a person that don't speak out about life or death because you are worried about finding another job.
Mm-hmm.
I, that just, for me, it's just like, what kind of person do you want to be?
Right.
That's what it
Hey,
comes down to.
so in a situation where a person handcuffed and hold on, you put in comments that like hold on. She
No,
said
go
I start
ahead.
reading. I start reading like
Go
hold
ahead.
on. I wanna read this, but
I do want to read it too, but go ahead. And I'll read it after you finish.
uh, but it's a situation where okay, you and your partner on the job. This person, I don't know. They had drugs and they had weed. Uh, they had a gram of weed in the car. Uh, and they were drinking, so we gonna arrest them, take them to jail, whatever. Uh, and they were resisting a little bit, so we decided to slam them down to the ground, put the cuffs on them, and then I just decided to put them in the chokehold, and the person can't breathe. So you want to tell your partner chill out? We can restrain them together without you having to choke them because I'm here too, and you say chill out, and you get fired for that. That's
That's,
uh,
but you have a
uh,
you have a union. But you have a union. Police officers have a union. Like that's where your union. You pay union dues every paycheck, like to come in there and say, hey, I feel like I was wrongfully terminated. Let's go and put the steps in both. Like you have a union. Like it ain't just you out there.
Yeah, but your union is full of people that believe, that y'all supposed to work as a team. You're supposed to have that person's back. So I don't know. Like I said last show. I mean, they literally ask you on the test. If your partner was doing this, a a would you snitch on your partner? Would you talk to your partner privately? Would you go to the sergeant? This is the shit that they ask you on the test, and yeah, you know. So
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know,
once
man.
again,
It just,
hey Ashley, what you get on the test? I just want to know.
hmm. So Ashley said she said as soon as you are sworn in, your life changes as a police officer. You may be police officer of a small town somewhere, but to the public, you are no longer human. You are held to a higher standard. You can't make mistakes. If you do end up on CNN, uh, you can't make mistakes if you do end up on CNN. I stay out of the way for real, and when I work, I do my job the best I can. That's not what we're saying at all. We're not saying that you're not human when you're above making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes in every job. You could be unemployed and still make mistakes.
Yeah.
So I don't think that. So I don't think at all that like that's what we're saying, that you can't make mistakes. But we are saying that you should be held to a higher standard because that comes with the position. That don't mean that you won't make mistakes, but you should be held to a higher standard.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to life or death, I mean, the stress is probably unimaginable. But if I had the power to uh, take someone's life or not, like I'm gonna try not to take their life to the best of my abilities, Um, but this is the type of mistake that will ruin somebody's family and life forever on both sides.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Hey, decision making is very key. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Especially like
you make
let's say the Tamir Rice situation. Like you pull up so close. I mean, it's you pull up that close
what
to
are your
somebody
options?
somebody who got a gun. You pull
Yeah,
up that
what are
close.
your options? No. I agree. Like
Yeah. So what are
even
your
though,
options when you pull up on somebody who got a gun that close? You gonna shoot them
right,
immediately, right?
right.
But your first thing is to go confront this person instead of like getting space. I don't. Hey man, I'm
So
not trying to get
right,
up on
so
nobody who I know that got a gun. If I got that call, you know what I'm saying? Unless I was the officer and I got the call, it's a mass shooter. Then it's like, you know, that's not, shoot their ass. But
so I just think, I mean, even the Samir Rice thing, I always said like the person that was most at fault was not even the cop that shot, but it was the cop that pulled up so close that you didn't give the other officer a chance or opportunity to do anything.
yeah,
Let me jump in the comments. Let me see. Um, Ms. Murray said, even doctors who make mistakes get protected by fellow doctors. I think that they do for the most part. Like the brotherhood mentality, I understand that, but uh, people do speak out about it though. Like people do say inside of meetings with the head of medicine, they will say like, I don't agree with that decision, or whatever. I'm not saying publicly that cops should come out on Facebook or anything and say what that cop did was wrong, or somebody in my force is a bad apple or whatever. Um, I'm not saying publicly, but cops should definitely be speaking out when they see injustices. If your job is to, if the oath that you take is to enforce law, to be a law enforcer, and you see somebody breaking the law, then you should say something. This is what I think.
yeah. I say something internally. Most definitely. if
So
before let's say before I went to like your sergeant, your captain, whoever, uh, you talk to your partner like, what's up? What was up with that situation? Like, why you do that? You know, and if I'm still working with this person and they continue to do stuff like that, then you escalate it. But it's probably not gonna be good for you. In the long run, because nobody gonna want to work with you. But me personally, I would want it to have it that way. I won't want to work with nobody anyway.
I agree. Let me see. Erica said we need to place blame on the systematic racism that is still plaguing us, not just the police force. Because trust me, there is something behind them that enforces these laws as well. I agree.
True.
I agree with
True.
you. Honestly, I don't think it's about losing their job. I think it's about being harassed afterwards. Um, or if you come out and speak out about it, will you be spared from the harassment? If you come out and say to the people like what he said was wrong, what he did was wrong, uh, I don't support it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you get blackballed by your force, but like harassed, or are you saying harassed by the people or harassed by your coworkers? Because either way, like, you gonna have to deal with stuff either way. So either you're gonna be harassed by your people for speaking up, or you're gonna be harassed by the public thinking that all cops are bad. And it's your choice. And if you don't want that choice, then do something else. Angel said, I'm sure when you become a cop, your coworkers are like family. It probably pulls loyalty strings. I'm sure. I'm sure to a certain extent. But what's more important to you? Like, is it the oath that Ashley said that changes your life when you take it? Like, who are you pledging allegiance to? Are you pledging allegiance to that department, to your captain, or to the actual oath that you're saying? Because that don't say like I don't even know what the oath is, but I'm sure it ain't to Johnson. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's to whatever the creed, the Constitution, and whatever the fucking creed for your department is. Like, and it's
Hey,
a job. You don't want to do it, do something else. Like,
hypothetical question.
and as I say that, I realize that that's not a job for me. Like, because I am aware that that would be something I would speak out about, and I'm not saying I can do the job anyway, but like I'm aware that that job don't fit me because of the way I feel about stuff. And if you feel the same way, then you should get another job.
Hypothetical question to you: would you rather be in the army or would you rather be a cop?
Say one more time. I was reading the comment. Say one more time.
That's a hypothetical question. Would you rather be in the army or would you rather be a cop?
Neither. I would rather be Muhammad Ali and just like nigga, I just ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Like I like personally, because I know, and it has nothing to do with authority, because the job I'm in now has a level of hierarchy. Like so that has nothing to do with it, but it's being put in those type situations where it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like somebody's going to hate you no matter how you go. Like if that's the mentality that you bring to it, then I just wouldn't do it personally.
Yeah, those are two jobs I wouldn't want to do. You know, some people do them.
Yeah.
Some people love it. And I commend those people because you want to, you really want to serve and you really want to protect, or you want to, keep this country's liberties and freedoms intact. But me personally, I just got to commend them because I couldn't do any of those.
And I just couldn't. I mean, so I couldn't do it, and then not only could I not do it, it just I don't know. You got to know yourself. Like you got to. Not everybody. Or I'll say this. Forget what I was about to say. Not everybody's reasons for becoming a police officer or joining the army or doing certain positions. It's not always as pure as I want to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's not always as pure as I want to. Um, uh, keep the country free. I want to protect people. Like everybody's agenda is not the same as I think most cops are. Most people that join the military are. I just don't think it is. My aunt said, I was thinking this: doctors have taken the oath to save lives, and I've personally seen some give up or drag their feet caring for someone because of money. Yeah, I agree, and like I can't like I feel like doctors should be called out too. Um, but it's like who's going to call you out though? Like another doctor that's dragging their feet, or another doctor that's handcuffed because the director of medicine or the board of directors on the hospital won't allow you to do your job. Like in the case of this coronavirus stuff, all right, people dragging their feet, but what if it's because they don't have the right PPE, or like the people higher up and not supporting them in the way that they need to be supported? So yeah, so you like so what? You just call out your hospital system. If I work for UH and I just call out University Hospital, like then what? They're like, all right, so you fired for calling us out, but then people are going to say, right, so you down by your people, but then the public is going to say like, well, thanks for speaking out. Nigga, now we know, what I'm saying, we won't support University Hospital or whatever, or whatever the practices is. I don't know, like you kind of put some kind of action in order, but just standing on the side doing nothing when you see a system is failing you. I mean, like, what do you do? Like, you can do the best you can, but then when something happens, like, do you just not say anything, like, at all?
I mean, it'll be like it is today with people protesting because of a cause that they feel strongly about. So,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I
saying?
get it.
It'll just be people speaking out.
I get it.
Hey, I seen this dude who had $1 million bill from having the coronavirus. It's $1 million.
$1 million what?
A million
Oh,
dollar
bill.
medical bill.
Oh, that's a whole nother story of universal health care and stuff that's needed in the country
A
for
million
sure.
dollars. Like who?
Yeah, who
Like
can afford that?
no, like 1% of the people in the world can afford $1 million medical bill.
I'd be like, I ain't paying it. Like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna
Send me
give
to
it back to
collections.
me?
They send you to collections.
Yeah,
Then what? Like they know the collections know
fuck
they're
it.
not getting it. Like I won't even call. Like
Yeah,
million. Y'all, this for real. I ain't even gonna call this guy. He
yeah,
don't got it.
yeah, it's crazy. We way back in the comment. Let me catch up real quick. Angel said, I'm sorry, Miss Murray said, yeah, your back not going to be watched if you're perceived to be a snitch. That's true. Angel said, that's good. It doesn't. I figured it would because in my work setting, we do feel like family at times. Well, some of them. Ashley said, some probably do feel like family. That was not my experience. Yeah, and I think it just like working in an office or working somewhere else, everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on the people that you're working around and a whole host of other possibilities.
Yeah, stay out them
Ms. Murray
cockroaches.
said, Ms. Murray said, if it comes to their life or yours, you really can't second guess. I agree. I agree with that. But some of the instances that we're talking about, there are not like it's on video. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of hard to argue with video. Like Walter Scott, another guy that has something to do with a taser. Um, that I guess he had the taser or whatever, threw the taser down and ran, and the cop shot him in the back. Like it's just another instance. But so if the cop said that, he would look at being wrong, and he knows that. That's why he lied on a police report, and then the video came out, and then he got reprimanded. Like you know what I'm saying? Like at least if you're going to do the bad, like this is bad. That's why you lying on the police report. The 75-year-old man that got pushed in Buffalo, they knew what they did was wrong and bad. That's why they lied on the police report. Like they lied and said he backpedaled, tripped, and fell instead of saying we pushed this nigga and he smashed his head on the concrete.
When
Like
everybody in
what you're
America
doing is bad.
saw it.
Yeah, like what you're doing is bad. Like that's the
Hey,
problem I have.
so look, I know we're getting low on
But
time,
yeah,
but I want to share this story. So about decision making, right? So uh, this is a first hand story that I was there and I heard the story. But anyways, it was this cop. He got into it with some teenagers, and it was like three of them. But there was probably like at least 16. So I mean, they could at least square up, throw some shots if they wanted to. So they squared up with him, surrounded him. At that point, see when you're a cop, it's different rules. You know what I'm saying? So he could have upped and started shooting if he wanted to, right? But he didn't, and he decided to pull out his pepper spray and spray all three of them, right? I mean, I mean, it's that decision making which is which is crucial because yeah, you could have killed somebody and got away with it. I mean, they tried to jump you, but you went with less lethal force, and everybody got to go home. You know.
So you're saying they have tools? They have the tools to have options. Like they have options that are not
Yeah.
just go for your gun. It's true. I mean, they do have different tools for different situations, right? Let me see. Erica said, "For what I've seen in Cleveland, I felt many times that the police force were segregated. That's interesting. I don't see. That's why I would love to get somebody on here to talk about it because I haven't heard that before." Mine said harassment from coworkers. I agree. Like I said, I think one way or the other, you're going to get harassed, and it's just a matter of you choosing of who you want that to come by. She said they would feel torn because they feel they would have to choose between public and their brotherhood. Yeah, but you don't work for the brotherhood; you work for the public. That's what you do. Angel said she would join the army over the police force. She said I feel
Oof.
bad for the good cops, underpaid and overworked. I agree with that. Ashley said the public doesn't see what happens behind the scenes. There are officers that speak up. Speaking up means reporting things and putting it on paper. It happens. I hate when people say cops don't speak up and do the right thing. Look,
Let's see. We didn't know that,
I'll
did we?
yeah,
Did we know that?
I'll be the first to say. I'll be the first to say that like I'm not asking for people to necessarily come forward on paper, or I'm sorry, to the public or a line or whatever and say something, but they should be saying something. And Ashley, so just as much as you see people speaking up and saying stuff, there are people that don't do that though, or that they'll. There are times when the Walter Scott situation I just brought up. It was two officers there. They both wrote a report, and then the video came out, and they both were reprimanded because they both lied on their report. Like, so if you're going to speak out and say something, don't write that in your report. Like, if you know it's wrong, don't put that in your report. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that people need like cops need to come out publicly, but you should be saying something. I feel like you should be saying something.
No, if it wasn't on camera and they wrote the paperwork up, I mean, they wouldn't have got reprimanded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The paperwork is tight. It ain't no holes in it. You good, but in the day in the era of recording everything and having body cams, that paperwork ain't having the strength that it used to have.
And that's all I'm saying. Like if you're a good cop, then say if you don't know, then just say I don't know. Like, but don't make up something or don't get with this officer that potentially did something bad and say, well, what do you have? And let's get our story straight or whatever, so we can both type up the same report and get and have it on the same thing. Like and instead of doing that, like just say your part or say this is what happened. Like I'm not a bad cop. He did something I felt was bad, or this is what I seen. This is what I observed. This is what I heard, or whatever. That's what you put on your report, and you should put that on your report. Like that. That's what should be on your report. It's not about having that person's back or not speaking up. Like you shouldn't. And I know that's an isolated incident. Talking about just like putting something bad in your report. So I get it that cops speak out and stuff. You write your report as in your or your complaint or whatever. I understand that part, but for all the people that do step up and say something, there are people that don't. This is how numbers work.
Yeah.
Erica said there needs to be police reform. Don't get me wrong, the military tactics aren't working on civilians. There's no reason that city cops should have tanks and shit. There's no reason for it. Like the reason they got it for was after 9/11, budgets exploded so that people can, in case of a terrorist act. And I'm not saying that just because a terrorist act like of that magnitude haven't happened that people shouldn't be prepared, but there's no reason for local cops to have tanks and stuff like that. Not specialties, not SWAT teams or whatever. Like shouldn't have that gear, but there's no reason why local precinct, whatever, district, whatever, should have tanks and shit like that. They just shouldn't. All right, so I agree with you, Erica. Andrew said, "What's the solution? How can we get things better?" I don't know. Ashley said, "Do you blame the person, the company they work for, or the school they attended for training?"
Damn,
A combination. A combination, because you have some companies that, well, I guess companies might be a little different because they can only ask certain things when you go. So if we was hiring somebody, we wanted to call and get references from old employees. It's like certain questions we can't answer, or I'm sorry, certain questions we can't ask or whatever. But to my knowledge, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. You can find out like past what do you call them? Like past reviews from even if it's at a different department. That's how like the cop that killed Samira Rice, they was able to find out that he was at a different precinct and that the commander or whatever said that he should not be a cop anymore. He shouldn't be in law enforcement at all. And then Cleveland police ended up hiring him or whatever. Like, so if I'm not, they share that kind of information. So I would blame the person that rehired that cop in that instance. I would blame the person for being a bad person or a racist person or whatever the case is. And then, all schools aren't created equally. If they were, then going to Heidelberg University would be the same going to Ohio State University, which would be the same as going to Marshall, which would be the same as going to Toledo. But all schools aren't created equally. All CCW training aren't created equally. Like, so I think it's a combination of all of the above, personally.
I most definitely agree with everything that you said, and I don't have anything to add to that because it was so eloquently said. So,
well, I mean, that's what I try to do. Erica said, when a cop can't recognize a child or a handicapped person, something's wrong with their training. You have to question the reasoning behind it. Is it fear of being used in training to the point where it's only the one thing they can focus on?
Hey, it was a show. It's a show called Atypical on Netflix. Go check it out. Good show. Long story short, the guy he has autism, and he was having a anxiety attack, and the officer threw him down to the ground, arrested him. His father is a EMT, and so his father went and talked to the police officer, and they had a conversation, and then he led a training to let the police know what to look for with someone who has autism. Now, my question is, I wonder, do they have that training to be able to detect people who have different, issues and stuff like that?
I don't know. I can't say. I'm not a cop or never went through the training, but I will say that I have long before this, all the stuff that's happening now. It was a cop that was, I want to say he was in Houston, maybe Tennessee, and then Houston, but he's like a police chief in Houston somewhere or whatever, and he was saying like, they asked cops to do too much out here, right? They asked cops to be mental health workers. You know what I'm saying? They ask cops to be so do all your normal atypical cop stuff, but we also want you to come out when people are having mental health issues. And he had like a whole list of stuff that they asked cops to do, and he was saying it's fucking ridiculous. Like it's just way too much. Like you're asking cops to do way too much. You're asking cops to do all of these different kind of trainings, right? Instead of having like actual officials that's used for that specialize in that type of a field. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know if cops actually get that training, but I can tell you that if they do, it's not enough. Like, as in, it's not. They don't. You don't have enough time to work, and then also have your off time that's allocated to you, and also have enough time to do this amount of training. You know what I'm saying? In fields that has nothing to do with law enforcement or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they call you for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel cat and tree or some shit. Like, they call police officers are called out to those calls, and then they come with the fire department and whatever. But like all that stuff, man, cops are called out to all of that stuff. So they are doing too much. And if that training is available, it's not enough time for them to actually incorporate all of that training. Like, it can't be. It
So,
can't be.
so what you saying? At the academy, they should go through all that before they even, it should be incorporated. While they're at the academy, which would make the academy longer, which means the city would have to pay more, and it might not be in the
No,
budget.
that what I'm saying is that's what people expect. But what I'm saying is cops shouldn't be responsible for certain specialized stuff like that.
Yeah.
They should be called out to protect and serve, not to handle, um, mental health or certain issues like that.
But
That's what I'm saying. They should be
but
required to.
but I mean, at the same time, they're dealing with people, and people come in all races, all shapes and sizes, all different challenges. So at least be able to identify somebody who you know has a mental disability. So I mean, I can identify immediately, but that's because I'm trained in it. You know what I mean? But if you're not trained in it, how the hell you gonna know? Man, I'm stressed. I ain't even a
So,
cop.
so, so we about to find out because I think Ashley answered the question. So let me see. Miss Murray said, when we were young, my dad was in the military. Our neighbors got called up to go to Baltimore for the riots and the National Guards. They were sitting around the dining room table saying, "We're going to shoot the niggers."
Hold
Yeah,
on,
military is
what?
not.
Who said that?
Miss Murray said that. She said when she was
Hold
younger.
on. Let me read this again. Who?
While you're reading, I'm gonna keep going. Ashley said, "I think the subject spans across the entire justice system, but
Okay.
that's for another day." I agree. Ashley said, "We don't have tanks." Bullshit. Your department precinct don't have tanks. I will send you. I will contact you after the show. Erica said,
Yeah, Strongsville got the tanks.
they out here for sure. And they out here. Erica said, it's a silent racial war going on in America. It needs to be exposed. I don't think it's that quiet, Erica. I think 45 in there turned up the volume significantly, for sure. I don't think it's as quiet as it once was. Regina said, I don't understand why lie on the write-up report when there's video to prove it's a lie. Do they not have a reason to follow up without this outrage? So that was 2015, the Walter Scott incident I was talking about, and that was before like most departments got body cams, and they didn't know that footage was out there, of course, because they probably wouldn't have lied about it. But then they did lie, and then a couple of days later, the actual footage came out, and both of those cops ended up. They got reprimanded, but not like they never got convicted. They got fired. Of course, the paid leave, and then I believe they did get fired, but like no jail time, no convictions or anything. My aunt said that's one. Go ahead, my bad.
You talking about the people, the cops in Buffalo, right?
Well, she just said while on the report. So we talked about both. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We talked about the Walter Scott and the thing in Buffalo. Like, I'm assuming they just didn't know that the footage was out there. I'm assuming.
Yeah. The minute, I mean, the charges will come later, but I think with the Minneapolis situation, it was so much pressure on them, and Trump gave the green light to hurry the investigation so they can bring charges because they seen where it was going. It was going, south. People was going to be rioting and protesting, and you know, so that's why charges came with that one. But they gonna probably gonna come though, assault at least.
We'll find out. My aunt said that's one of my fears. I believe she's talking about like when you talk about the TV show on Netflix. As she said, yes, I went to autism training. It wasn't mandatory though, and that could be the issue. You know, was it just you in there? Was it just you and your people that you're cool in the department? Was it like what I'm saying? Like I feel like if we want to have people respond to those type of calls, then you need to fully train them, which means the city's going to have to pay for it, and that's something that is not always possible. Like they just won't do it for a number of reasons or whatever, but it just don't happen. And if that's the case, then they should send out the people that's actually trained to deal with those situations. Erica said, you also have a sister with a disability, so right. So, and I think that's what it comes down to as well is, and I'm not taking a shot at you or anything, but for the majority of people, like you don't care about it until it affects you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so until you have somebody with special needs in your family where you want to, become more accessible to them or find out more ways to help them, or until you have a black son-in-law or some shit. So now you want to understand race relations. You want to understand the other side because it affects you. You know what I'm saying? If that dude get killed or something, now your daughter gonna be distraught, and that affects you. Seeing your kids sad. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and I think I don't know if it's just human nature that you don't like. You can care, but like a lot of people don't care until it affects them personally.
Right. Right.
And Angel said, "Do you see a need for improved training, or is it a recruit issue from your experience?" I think she's talking to Ashley with that one. Ashley said, "Police do 50 jobs wrapped in one. Y'all should do a ride along." No, I don't need to do a ride. Like I'm agreeing with you. First off, I couldn't survive it. Secondly, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that they are required, and they're not even required. They're asked to do way, way, way more than they should. I'm agreeing with you 100%. Like so, that increases the level of or the percentage, the possibilities of mistakes happening. I agree with you 100%, Ashley. And I think that's part of the issue as well.
I'm cool on the ride alongs because it'd be interesting going to ride along, but I'm cool with, we just had a homicide and we got to roll up. Man, I ain't trying to see no first 48 shit at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool on that aspect of the job. If you're trying to write tickets all day or something, cool, I'm with it. I'll ride along, but I'm not trying to see, I'm not trying to see some of this bullshit.
So I think for ride along, they'll keep you out of certain, like that unit just won't be called to the scene. Like for certain stuff, stops or whatever, but like for certain stuff, I think they just won't call that unit. I don't know, but I'm assuming they wouldn't call you out for a homicide. I'm sure.
I be hearing, I heard the stories before, even from firefighters. Like, man, like I'm trying to see that. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to have to talk to a counselor after a ride along. Like, it's not. No, cool.
That's funny. My aunt said they are supposed to have training. My son has autism but look normal. He is nonverbal and will not adhere to commands. If his name is not called, I always pray no one ever calls the police on him.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say? Ms. Murray said it should be mandatory. I agree. That's something I said earlier. I know I'm late in the comments, so sorry. Ashley said a foster parent called the police on a girl with Down syndrome. I was so mad she did that. Yes, like yes, is all I can say. She said, police training never stops. We always train on things that reflect the times. Yeah, I understand. I just know, like going to a class for 8 hours, like that's not. I don't know. I don't know how long these classes are or whatever, but from what I'm told from other officers is that it's not enough time. Like, it's not enough um, repetition with going to the class so that you are like properly trained in dealing with whatever that class is for. Erica said that's why training should be more extensive. That's literally what I just said. I didn't even read the comment. Ashley said, we have crisis intervention training, but the specific training for autism was something I decided to attend. It was through another city. We can take voluntary training like SWAT would take different
So it's voluntary.
or extra training. Yeah, training on their specialty. Right, and I think that's an issue because actually, that's what I'm saying. So you do have cops. So if you got caught out to a situation where it was somebody with some kind of a disability, so not only are you sympathetic because of your sister, you also took the training, but I'm sure there were plenty of cops that didn't take that voluntary training, so they wouldn't respond in the same way that you would to it. They just wouldn't because they didn't do the training. She said, I want to take public speaking training because that's what I do at work. You can also do it on the show. Just letting you know. You can always do it right here on the show. You see it on social media, which is where we're at, so feel free. Ashley said, lies, ride along, lies, ride alongs, ride along. I don't know who you're saying lying. Am I lying for saying that you wouldn't go to those calls, or is he lying for saying that you would go to the calls? Let us know. And then Miss Murray said, I see they I see they really couch quarterbacks can't do a ride along. No, it's not. It's not that we can't do a ride along. It's not that we can't.
We don't have to.
I'm agreeing. Like
no oath.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
Just unlock the AR. Back up.
We're agreeing, so I don't think we need to ride along. It would look. I don't know. Y'all gonna maybe go do it just for the sake of the show. Let me see.
Hey, that's all we had. Like we had national or even city network pool. We could do stuff like that easy.
Ashley might be our key to unlocking that. She said, most police training is experience based. You don't really know how you would react to something until you are in it. You train to prepare, but on the streets, it's not cookie cutter. It gets crazy sometimes. Yeah, I can understand that 100%. Like you can't train for everything, and that's why I think that cops should be called for certain things, and then mental health specialists should be called for certain things. Wild animal control should be called for animal things. You know what I'm saying? Like call the proper people for the proper issues, because you can't train for everything in any field, being a cop or fucking CDL testing or like whatever it is that you do. Like you can't train for everything. So I agree with you. And she said, ride along, go to the cause. So I was wrong, and I apologize.
Hey, you know what? Might have to. I mean, I ain't gonna be scared, but it's like, what if some niggas start shooting? what?
Can you carry on the ride along?
No, like yeah. Can you carry on a ride along? Number one, are you gonna give me a vest? Number two.
What you say? What was number two?
Can I get a vest?
I think they give you a vest. I'm almost sure they give you a vest, but I'm not 100% sure. I've had conversations, so I'm pretty sure they give you a vest.
You know what?
But I don't know. But I do want to know, can you carry? Because that might make me feel better.
I'm like, why y'all driving so fast? Don't drive so fast. When I'm in the car.
Right, it's like, oh, we got to chase my man. You better, hey, they had me on that count. Like, man, you should terminate it. Don't terminate the chase. Don't do it. Ashley said, she said, I got stories for y'all. I won't put it here though. Feel free, man. Feel free. Not today because we about to wrap up and get out of here and all that good stuff. But feel free whenever y'all want to. She said, Ms. Murray said, cops are first responders. Yeah, but that's true. They are, but some stuff they shouldn't be responding to, and that's just my opinion. Like they shouldn't have to come to the certain mental health stuff, or like the stuff that they're not trained in. Like you don't call SWAT for stuff that's not SWAT related, or you don't call, you know what I'm saying, Vice for shit that's not Vice related, or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. That's just me.
But when I listen to the scanner though, they do put a priority on the cost. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't know, it's a cat in a tree, of course it's gonna be a low priority, you know.
Well, yeah. So, of course.
You know? I mean, it's like if that's your area, your zone, you know what I'm saying, you'll get to it when you get to it. But if it's a priority, then you might stop writing that ticket to, you know, go to that call. But I mean, it just depends. I mean, they got to do everything in the street, so.
And I just think that's what the problem is. They do got to do everything, and I think that's just a problem.
She said sometimes don't even show up.
She said you wear a vest, no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. She said you wear a vest with no. Yeah, a vest with no gun.
I'm legal.
Ashley, can I wear my own vest? I need these answers.
I'm gonna do the undercover cop carry. Like y'all ain't gonna know.
Shit, I'm gonna have my AR 500 plates. Like I'm ready for all the situations. Regina, getting out of here. Regina, you have a good safe week. We about to wrap up. Ashley said, she said you you have to get $1 million policy on yourself. Yep, my family gonna be straight if anything happens. Great. Angel said y'all should do a ride along report back to us. Byron said he'll do it. He said he'll do that for the show. As he said, if a person is mental or violent, they call police. I guess so. I get it. No, I know that they do. I just don't think that they should all the time. Violent, of course, that's different. That's part of the protect part of the protect and serve. But like mental health people, like the one guy was this was a couple years ago. It was like some kind of mental health thing, and he was like sitting on the road or something. They called the police. And there was like a black guy that was like his handler. I don't know what he called, for lack of a better term. His whatever. And so he's sitting on the ground. The black guy sitting on the ground talking to the guy with the mental disability. Like, and the cop pulled up. He pulled up. Long story short, he ended up shooting the black guy. It wasn't like he just pulled up and shot him or whatever. They had a thing, like the black dude got his hands up and they shot him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to tell you that I'm the guy's handler or whatever it's called.
Hey, just the other day he was found not guilty. Like a week ago, something like that.
Ashley, don't yell at me, man. She said mental and violent. Like, and mental and violent. Okay, I get it. You saying, I thought you were saying mental people and then violent people. I didn't know it was, all right, don't yell at me. I got it. She said they provide the vest. I got my own vest. So if I'm going, I'm wearing my AR 500 steel plates. I'm just saying. All right, man. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here for we gotta watch out when we driving through Cleveland. Watch out for Hondas.
It's been hella like recently. It's been stories of people just randomly shooting AR-15s at cop cars. I know the one dude got hit in the leg. Then over by me, somebody just randomly just started shooting at. They shot like that. They shot a whole clip at a whole magazine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Whole magazine is slang. Slang. That's what people talk. But anyways, they shot a whole magazine at a group of cop cars. Like, so ride along.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, man.
I need I need at least a year's salary. I need 50,000.
or if I do it, it had to be in like Strongsville or something. Give me somewhere safe.
Exactly.
Give me,
Where like,
give me somewhere.
nigga, I can pull up, get some donuts, chill for a minute, write a couple of tickets, and then go back home.
Some parking tickets, not even, you know what I'm saying, just some parking tickets only. You know what I'm saying? No interaction with the public. You know what I'm saying? Call because Marianne got some casserole for us for the station.
Mm-hmm. I don't even have to work out no more. Like,
yeah,
good.
As he said, I just noticed the y'all picture behind Byron. Yeah, that was 2012, 2011, super young.
Classic picture. Yeah.
Black
the beginnings. Yeah.
She said, don't criticize then if you can't ride for a few hours. We're not criticizing. We're being objective viewers. We can have an opinion about something. And, the same way y'all can have opinions. Like, oh, you hit the yellow line. Like, I didn't hit the yellow line. I know for a fact I didn't hit the yellow line. Oh, no, I seen you. Like, no, that's your opinion. Your opinion is that I hit the yellow line, but I really didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't hit the yellow line.
You were not with the court.
I can show you on the dash cam. Well, show me on the dash cam. Well, that's not really how it works. Well, so your opinion is that I hit the yellow line. Like, so this is all opinion. Cops have opinions. Yeah. We have opinions. We're objective viewers, just like everybody else.
And you will lose in court, like guaranteed, because your opinion is outweighed by the officer's opinion, unless you that dash cam is public record.
Yeah, dash cam.
Yeah. But most people don't know to do that, and they don't expect you to do it. I got stories about going to court. Like, the prosecutor said you did a great job. Like, I almost lost it. I have evidence I needed though.
Ashley said, Ashley just laughing or whatever. She said it's not an opinion if it's facts. Yeah, you're right about that. So you got stories about, people telling and stuff in the locker room. I got stories of being black in a white neighborhood and niggas is lying. Like, it ain't facts. Like, it's a straight lying. It's like niggas is lying. Like, I think last story, and I promise I'm out of here. Byron can say whatever you want to say. I was in Broadview Heights. I was in North Royalton, driving home, and cop pulled me over. He's like, yeah, it's like, all right, I'm at the auto parts store with my cousin, and I say, all right, man, be safe. Look, right across the street, it's a cop. Like, just be safe when you get out of here. I'm looking. Me and the cop make eye contact because he's sitting in the parking lot that I'm in. Like, we're in the same parking lot. My cousin pull out. I pull out. You black too, but you covered by that blue shield, so you're fine. So my cousin pull out, or I'm sorry, I pull out. Or I'm sorry, I get in the car to pull out. The cop pull out in front of me, and he's waiting for me, but I'm waiting for him. So he turns out before me. He goes, and so now I'm driving behind him, and he runs the light. We coming up to a red light. It's nighttime. He runs the light to go into the gas station, the adjacent gas station, and turns around to wait for me to come through the light so he can pull me over. I noticed this because I'm super observant, and I'm not in law enforcement, but I do work with law enforcement. So I come through the light and immediately turned. He went through the light, ran the light, made a right. I went through the light when it turned green, made a left. Private property, can't pull me over. I go through the private property, and I come out, and he's now no longer at the gas station, but he's at the first street waiting. He's just sitting there, he just keeps moving further a little bit as I move further a little bit. He's just sitting there at the stop sign. I'm not even kidding. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting pulled over. Like, at this point, there's no way I can go. Like, if I go left, he will pull out left behind me. If I go right, he'll wait till I pass him, and then he'll pull out behind me. So, of course, it happens because that's how it happened. He pulled me over. Where are you going? East, because that's what I always say every time. I'm going east. Where you coming from? I'm like, dude, we were in the same parking lot. Like, don't we were in the same parking lot. We made eye contact. He's like, I never seen you before. I'm like, what's up, man? Like, what's going on? He's like, oh, well, you got these things, air fresheners hanging from your windshield. He's like, you got any like, you got any weapons? I'm like, oh yeah, I got a Derringer. I'm like, it's super small. I've completely forgot about it. It's in my pocket or whatever, but it's fine. He's like, all right, that's cool. He's like, you got your ID? I'm like, I don't. Like, just came down, blah blah blah. I'm like, but you ran my plates. You know, my address, my name came up, all this stuff. He's like, man. So where you coming from? I'm like, we were in the auto parts store together. Like, we were in there together. He's like, no, I never seen you. I'm like, dude, you came out and made a right into the gas station. I came out and made a left into McDonald's. He's like, well, did you get McDonald's? I'm like, no, because I don't have my ID. I don't have my wallet with me. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I got to record it somewhere. If I find it, I'm sending it to Erica. I'm sending it to Ashley for sure. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is a real thing. If you want verification, ask Angel, because she's seen it. Like, that's exactly what happened. The dude just kept asking me, like, so I don't even know what to do. He's like, I stopped you because of the stuff on your windshield, because the air freshener on your hanger from your rearview mirror. But you got a gun and you don't have no licenses. But I know that you stay a mile away. He's like, so what am I supposed to do here? I'm like, you tell me. Like, what do you want to do? Like, because you're right, I don't have my ID. That's fine. You pull me over because of my air freshener. That's a lie. Like, I'm black and I'm in North Royalton and it's late at night. Like, you don't know what I'm doing here. Like, that's the reason you pull me over. Like, so just get, like, whatever it is, get over it. Like, write me the ticket. Don't write me the ticket. Whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, well, like, just to let you know, you can't have stuff hanging from your rearview mirror. Have a good night. Be safe out here.
Hey, see, that'd be the petty thing about suburbs. They pull you over for something like that.
It's the most infuriating thing in my life because, like, so the next day I go to work and I'm like, well, let me tell y'all about this cop. Everyone, like, no one understood except for the black people, because they're like, oh, well, they probably, like, they look at my car like, they probably don't think you live in Broadview Heights. Like, you know, that's what he said. Like, probably don't think you live in Broadview Heights. I'm like, yeah, but then when he ran my plate, it came back to Broadview Heights. Like, he's like, but it was too late. He pulled it over by then. I'm like, it was. Look, I'm not even.
Right, hold on. It's like, so he pulled you over because of your air freshener, but I mean that was like a legal stop because you got to do a moving violation. That's not a moving violation. Hey, it was so many. So you already know the reason why he pulled you over, because he was.
I know. This is what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, I got stories too. Cops don't always be as honorable. They do have a tough job to do, but sometimes cops just be being assholes, just like everywhere else. It's just like any other job. So I'll criticize them as much as I want to. Don't tell me to do. All right, man, let's get out of here.
This been a great show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for all our top fans for tuning in. Remember to tune in to During the Course with Ebony J. You can look that up on all your streaming platforms. Remember to look up I Said What I Said podcast. You can look that up on all platforms as well. Soon we got Jess Bloom with Brittany J. Be sure to check that out. When that drop, we'll let y'all know. When our first show is. And as always, remember to own your own.
Man, I just want to thank you all again for another great show. It's always a good time when we can get an officer of the law to join us, along with all of our top fans. I don't know, man. I can't thank y'all enough. The conversation is always good, and we get to leave on a good, funny, upbeat type note, which is, I don't know, it's always fun, always a good time. So thank y'all. As Ms. Murray said, at least he didn't say you fit the description. Ain't no crime in North Royalton. If he would have said that, I would. If he would have said that, I was like, man, we got to go to the station now because you lying. Ain't no crime out here. Trust me, I know. I live there. Like I know it's no crime. Anyway, no like serious crimes. Anyway, thanks for joining us as always, man. Join us next week. We will be. That's our anniversary show, I guess. Our 2-year relaunch anniversary show. Tune in, man. We're going to talk to our new member that joined the family over the past year, and Ebony J. She's been around, but she kind of relaunched this year. So we'll catch up with her and some of the new shows that we got on here, and hopefully y'all get a chance to meet them and listen to them, and hopefully they catch all the attention, and you guys will tune into their shows too when you have the time. Just trying to build a brand over here. So, but we can't do it without y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all every single time. Hopefully we'll see y'all next week. For the State of the Union show. That's what I'm calling it, the State of the Union episode. So y'all be safe out there. Keep wearing the masks. Stay social distanced. Look out for protests and all that good stuff. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all next week. We'll definitely see y'all next week. Salute to the city as always. I'll try to get my hair done next time. Don't judge me. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all. Thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to subscribe.